Every Thursday here at Spike Week, you know what we do. We draft the best ball team, but with a twist. The folks in the Spike Week community provide me with a bunch of rules that I might have to follow. We spin the wheel with all the rules on it, and that decides how I'm going to draft this team. I've had some crazy ones. Let's see what we get into today with the wheel of rules here at Spike Week. Let's do it. The folks are bringing the heat already. Darren Waller rules. Luckily, there were no Darren Waller rules submitted. GM to everyone. What's going on? Jason, GM. Lots of GMs. It is, of course, a wonderful Thursday, and as mentioned in the intro, what we do here is a little bit of fun. Of course, we're still trying to take down best ball tournaments, but today, in case you didn't notice, our good friends over at Drafters, technically yesterday, launched a new $3 NFL best ball mini championship. $3 entry. You can enter up to 150 times, and there's a $25,000 top prize. So we're going to venture on over there here in just a minute and put our wheel of rules to the test and see if we can't take down the Drafters mini main event for $25K. If you have not played on Drafters yet and you would like to try it out, if you use promo code SPIKE, you can get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. They, of course, also have their $20 main event, which has a $2.5 million prize pool, $500,000 to first place available over on Drafters. Cumulative scoring, 20 rounds, full PPR. That's where we're going to be drafting today. We covered the Darren Waller and Dolphins thing, I think, quite exclusively yesterday. If you have interest in way too much Darren Waller talk, check out the show yesterday from yesterday morning. It is, of course, on the channel. Hit the subscribe button. If you could hit the like button on the way in, it would be super helpful to us here. So we're going to hopefully not get into any more Darren Waller. I did want to note a couple of minor news items before we spin this wheel and see what I got to do in the draft. I'm not sure if everyone noticed, but if you are a Will Shipley apologist, a Will Shipley enthusiast, a Will Shipley drafter, like I think a lot of us are, certainly you guys know that I am my highest owned player thus far in 2025 best ball across all sites, even though you guys really don't let me get him in most of these drafts that we do on stream. Some really fun, bullish Will Shipley quotes from yesterday. This is from an Eagles beat reporter who, this is like a little bit of speculation. So it's not something completely perfect, but Andrew DeCecco, I believe is his name. On the Eagles beat says also shout out Sigmund Bloom for sharing this on Twitter, but he pulled out the direct quote. You can go find Sigmund on Twitter and find this, but he says in quotes, if spring practices are any indication of what's to come, expect Shipley to take his newfound opportunity and run with it. Look for Shipley to carve out a prominent role in his second season in what could be a breakout campaign. That is beat writer speculation, but he's reporting that things have gone well up to this point in the offseason for Will Shipley. So nothing like a little confirmation bias with our coffee on a Thursday morning before we spin the wheel to make us feel better about all of our Will Shipley shares. But I wanted to share that, no pun intended, because it's easy, I think, to maybe when you're talking about later round picks to question them a little bit. We're in that time of unknown in the NFL calendar, the offseason calendar specifically, where nothing's happening, right? We got the weird why the Jonnu trade and the Darren Waller silliness has blown up, and why we're all talking about it so much is there's fucking nothing happening in the NFL right now. There's no, we're not to training camp yet. OTAs and minicamp and everything those are all over. So we're kind of just sitting on our hands waiting for something to happen. And I actually think we then we overanalyze the news that we do get, like the Johnny Smith trade, like the Darren Waller coming out of retirement, like the Dolphins situation or the Steelers situation. Though I'm not sure we're overanalyzing the Steelers. I think we're just not interested in the Steelers as an entire industry. But it's easy to also get into this and like, I'm not, are they ever going to say anything about this guy I've drafted on 40% of my teams or 20% of my teams or whatever? You're just sitting here like, are they ever going to say anything? And I particularly know that if you have at all, you are like Sizzle here, who says he has tons of Shipley because of me. Shout out to you for clicking you did it. You clicked the button. I'm glad we're on the same page with Will Shipley, but it is easy to maybe start to question it a little bit at this point in the offseason. And I wanted to reaffirm folks' confidence in our Lord and Savior, Will Shipley. Keep clicking. The price is only going up. So don't worry about it. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Let me share my screen and pull up the wheel. I believe I've removed all of the old rules that we're on here. If you have not joined us for one of these wheel drafts before, most of these are like fairly like serious rules, but the occasional one has been funny. The very first rule that we did in a draft was every single player that I drafted have to have a different first letter of their last name. That was actually quite mentally taxing, but also very fun. And then we've done, last week was I had to draft only players from the same NFL division. We landed on the NFC West. I'm not sure that I would do the NFC West again. I think it's fine for the first, like the middle, the meat of the sandwich, the phenomenal bread on the NFC West draft sandwich. The meat in the middle is maybe lacking a little bit, but we've done, slow player drafts and short player drafts, and we've done a bunch of different things. But there's also, as you can see on here, like, can't draft a wide receiver, like basically draft a robust running back team. Don't draft a wide receiver till late. Don't draft a running back till super late, which is of course something I'm naturally comfortable with. And if you would like to, if you have a rule idea and you would like it to be on the wheel, just drop in the Discord. There's a link. It is free. Go to the live streams and media channel and drop your rule idea in there. I will, assuming it's appropriate, right? It's an appropriate. We're okay with pushing the line a little bit or whatever it's called. It's not crossing the line, but pushing to the brink, whatever the saying I'm thinking of. But we also gotta be a little bit appropriate. Pac fan, thank you. We did the hot dog draft. I actually did a couple weeks ago, did double duty where I had to draft players who all ran 4, 5 or slower in the 40. And for every time I screwed up, I did another stream later that day where I ate a hot dog on stream for every time. And it's a long running joke from years ago when myself and fellow Spike Weeker Rob Coakley did fittingly tomorrow, a 4th of July best ball stream where we did a hot dog eating contest where we tried to eat a hot dog every time we made a pick. I believe I got 8 dogs down in 8 rounds on drafters. I believe that's what it was. So the hot dog thing is like a very niche little bit around here at Spike Week. But we'll see what we get into today here with the rule. Let's go ahead and spin see what we're getting into. I enjoy these drafts because it takes me a little bit out of my comfort zone and it gets me onto maybe some players in combination. This is fun. Gets me. I think this will do the same. I still feel like we're drafting good teams on these. It may feel like a silly bit, but I feel like we're drafting good teams, and it's like I said, it's taking me out of my comfort zone a little bit, spurring some ideas. Maybe we're not necessarily going to do some of these exact drafts in the future on our own, right? Sitting on our couch or whatever. But it can give us some interesting ideas to try some different things in best ball instead of just drafting the same players and the same teams over and over. But today's rule is Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark today, meaning every player that I draft must have one, but only one teammate drafted on to the team. So obviously Noah's Ark, Animals 2x2 coming on. And so I'm going to draft. There's 20 rounds on drafters, and I have to draft every single time I, take a player. I got to draft a teammate at some point, but only one teammate. Sizzle says, so basically a 2-man stack. So if you draft Chase, you can only get one other Bengal. That is correct. And you can only get one, but you also have to get one other Bengal. So we're going to build. This is really interesting because this actually does a lot of the things that I like to talk about with secondary correlations and secondary stacks, right? Take Jamar Chase and Mike Gesicki and you don't have Joe Burrow. That's still a good thing. Take T. Higgins and Taj Brooks on the same team. You don't have Joe Burrow. It's fine. But then obviously still attempting to stack your quarterback with someone and getting all this, right? Condensing down the team into a smaller amount of bets I'm obviously drafting 20 players, but I'm kind of correlating all those different bets down into, more like 10 bets as opposed to, you call it like, it's more like 12 to 15 bets because you still have multiple players from the same team. You got to get the right players, but you're trying to condense down the things you got to get right on a team. So that's the Noah's Ark. Let's go ahead and pop on over to drafters and hop in this mini. As you see here, the $3 mini looks like we got 3 out of 12. So I need 8 of you sickos to fill out this draft for me here while we're waiting. While we are waiting, if you have not seen the new drafters mini, first of all, Kai says getting sniped on your QBs could be brutal. We're gonna find out. We're definitely gonna find out. Shout out Melch for being able to make it. But yeah, so again, $3 entry here, and this is a phenomenal contest. These small, lower dollar tournaments that they offer on drafters are just awesome. So shout out to them. I mean, shout out to all the sites that do this. Certainly wish DraftKings did their lower dollar stuff a little bit better. I know Underdog does obviously some good low dollar stuff too, but the drafters tournament is phenomenal. 25K to first place, right? So 20% of the prize pool to first place. Very nice. We're cool with that. And a pretty nice flat payout structure all the way down. Pac Fan says this draft could go sideways in a hurry. That is a fact. I don't have a ton of confidence, but we shall see. We shall see how this one goes. Let me copy paste this rule on over here so we can put it here. We'll put the rule at the bottom. Some people put subscriber goals, right, and such at the bottom, which is great. Get your subscribers. And some of us put Noah's Ark rules at the bottom of our screen. Built different, I think, is what the kids would say. John in the 5-hole, good luck as well to you, sir. UCF Jaguar with a gorgeous looking dog for an avatar. Just got back from walking my dog, so you can't see him because I'm condensed down in the screen. But my dude is out right here. I won't say his name because he'll wake up, but completely out. Eddie says, might have to add more to my drafters. Been busy on. Yeah, we have now reached the year in the year 2025. There's a lot of contest offerings out there. There's more than any of us can reasonably get to, right? Even if you have unlimited funds, you don't have unlimited time. So we've reached that part of basketball, which is great that it's now, a game where we have a ton of different offerings and a ton of different sites, right? We added Fast Draft in the last year or so as well with some more unique offerings. There's just only so much time. We're all human. There's only so much time to go around. But amen. Tired dog is a happy dog. Charisma says, did you see the ESPN article today about the rookie offseason standouts? I did not. Feel free to enlighten me. I'll check it out after this show, but I'm intrigued. ESPN can be hit or miss, let's say, but always down to hear about some of the rookies that are doing well in the off season. Does Drafters ever do a deposit match promo for existing users like Underdog? Yes, they do. They will do reload bonuses. I don't know when they happen. I don't have insight into what their kind of plan of attack for the reload bonuses is, but I do know that they offer them, and they'll probably offer one. I would guess at some point this summer. You get a ton of promos over on Drafters. They just finished up the June one where you could get a bunch of free tickets, and we'll do that again as well, plus the bonus. Okay, so let me think about this. I'm gonna do Neighbors here because, of course, I love Malik Neighbors, but also it's a lot easier to get a giant later. Who Hames, shout out. Yeah, once a month or something like that, I think is a good point. Charisma says good buzz on Franklin and Brashard. Schefter tweeted it, basically aggregated the beat writers. That's good. I've been dabbling in some of both of those guys. I've been taking, I think I've mentioned this on a show before, but if you weren't around for that one, while I did just put out an article this week, 2 days ago, the days really do start to blend together. Another thing that old people say, another reason I know I'm getting old is old people definitely say this stuff. I'm moving my head out here. I just realized our good friend Moxie is in the 12 spot, and I was completely covering him up with where maybe I should move back depending upon who he takes here. See, he's getting unique at the 1-2 turn. We should cover him back up. Uniqueness only matters once DraftKings releases the data, is what I've learned about uniqueness. So it's the only time that it matters. But Franklin and all right, comes back to me. Genty Neighbors is such a lame ass start, and I don't want to do Genty actually because I can't get Bowers. I don't really want to do Jacoby Myers. I guess Gino, but there's not a lot of Raider options. I'm gonna do Achane because I only have. It looks like I really only have Achane like once with Neighbors, and notably the Dolphins are kind of a hot button subject right now. Everybody's excited about Achane and Darren Waller, of course. Damn it, we're not supposed to talk about Darren Waller. But yeah, Vele and Franklin are two of my higher priority late round wide receivers, alongside, as I mentioned, the deep rookie sleepers article that I just put out the other day. I can give it away, but go check it out because you can read the reasons as to why I like these players. But the two rookie wide receivers back there that I would say, like, these four guys, and now Malik Washington, with Jonnu Smith gone from Miami. Malik Washington got a nice little boost for me in the rankings and has become more of a priority. But Franklin, Vele, Jalen Royals, Torrey Horton, my two favorite late rookie wide receivers, last round ish rookie wide receivers, and Malik Washington. So right now, when I'm getting to the late rounds and I need wide receiver, those are the places that I'm gravitating. Of course, I still love, Diami. I still love Darius Slayton, Dante Thornton, but a lot of those guys are more expensive now. Jason asks, is Pat Bryant dead? No, I like Pat Bryant fine too. I'm interested in the Broncos passing game overall. It's wildly cheap, like wildly cheap. Cortland Sutton goes around the 4 or 5 turn, and then Evan Ingram goes around, pick 100, and then Mims, Vele, Franklin, all super cheap. And and Pat Bryant, I'm just willing to bet on, honestly, all of those guys, though, as Huhaim says, probably not so great for Marvin. for Marvin Mims, I think Mims is just probably going to continue to be that gadgety, right, manufactured touch screen type player, which is fine from a real life sense. And if there's still a little bit of upside to that, I think he's like okay, but he's clearly the least the lowest priority for me amongst the Denver guys, but I want in on all of them. So to Jason's question, no, Pat Bryant is not dead. I like the 3 cheap Broncos wide receivers, Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, and Devon Vele the most, like at cost. They're, RJ Harvey and JK Dobbins are pretty good, but sign me up for the Broncos, I think is what I'm saying. They're a pretty good team for this this Noah's Ark exercise, because I do that a lot, actually. I have a bunch of, but I have a ton of 50% JSN with As you can see on the draft deck, I have 50% JSN with Achane. That doesn't feel very good. How about a Josh Allen team? He's a pretty good guy to single stack, right? Just get the rushing upside from Josh Allen. Single stack him with a Kincaid, Shakir, Palmer, Keon, whatever. Damn it. Kittle goes. That's who I really wanted to come back to me here. Malik had such an underrated minicamp too. Feels like he has the role fully locked up. That's what I'm hoping for. Malik Washington. That is. I really do believe, and I'm not going to rehash the Dolphins thing, or I'm going to try not to. But I did discuss this yesterday in the first half hour of the show yesterday or so. Really kind of talked about the Dolphins thing, and I do think Malik is like the big winner here. If we're vacating the Jonnu kind of yak targets, I think Malik is like the perfect guy to slot in there. It's not Waller, it's not Westbrook-Akine. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Let's do 7% DJ Moore. Yeah, let's do a little DJ Moore. Don't have a ton. I will probably land somewhere. Just match the field on DJ Moore. I think I like him a little bit better than maybe some other parts of the industry. People I love and respect and listen to, and maybe are a little bit down on DJ Moore, and I think that's logical and reasonable. But I also think there's an upside case for DJ Moore that's really, really strong. And if Caleb and the Ben Johnson thing does elevate this offense, I absolutely could see a scenario in which DJ Moore is a really valuable 4th round pick in best ball. So I'm just gonna take my medicine, is what we like to say, with the guys that you're just gonna get your 5 to 8%, or 5 to 10%. I'm just gonna take that DJ Moore medicine and move on to the next. And I'm sitting about 7% right now. And I just didn't really have him on any of these, the team with any of these guys, as you can see with all the exposures on the draft deck or on the left-hand side. Jason says, I love Allen or Lamar with round 1 wide receivers with bad quarterbacks. I'm totally with you. Totally with you, right? Take a Malik Neighbors. And I know Matthew Stafford isn't a bad quarterback, but we don't love Matthew Stafford fantasy-wise. Matthew Stafford is actually a solid, real-life quarterback. But we're not like Matthew Stafford's not going to be the reason anybody wins a best ball tournament this year. He may not hurt you because the offense is good, but he's not scoring a bunch of fantasy points. So when you take a Neighbors or you take a Puka, then adding, if you I like Geno a little bit better, but the same thing could be said for a Bowers. I know he's a tight end and not a wide receiver, but I love, Allen, Lamar, Daniels, Hurts with Neighbors and Puka. This is funny. Kai says, stop leaving me the week 8 buys. And as Bernie says, I agree. What's a bye week? Shakir of quarterbacks. That's a pretty good comp. Okay. Chuba looks pretty good here. I have 100%. Here's a fun fact. 100% of my Neighbors Achane teams have Juwan Jennings. Not sure that's what I'm rooting for. So we'll do Chuba. On drafters, how much of a bye week bro are you? Such as top 5 picks can't match. I don't really worry about it. I mean, on the draft hacker, you will. So you see the bye weeks are right here, right? 10, 14, 6. If there are bye week concerns, mainly for quarterback and tight end, it will. I think I have it as orange. It'll show up as orange if you're going to have a bye week issue, but I don't really worry about it too much, honestly. It's a minor thing. If I can not have my onesies with the same buy, that would be ideal. But also those guys are just almost never paired together either. So I just don't worry about it too much. I do care a little bit at the quarterback position, But other than that, I really don't worry about it. Christmas, are you all over Rome then? No, no, I'm not all over any of the Bears. Honestly, I'm just kind of taking I like it. If there's a the Bears are like the fucking doctor. I'm not excited to go there. I'm gonna take my medicine because the doctor said, like, you just kind of need to do that. You know what I mean? Also, 100% of my so I could do one of the bears here, or I could wait for my second bear. Right. So far, I've been kind of waiting out the. Let's do Rome. Rome fits the team. Um, so we got my Noah's Ark number one, Bears. How fitting. Bears, Dolphins, Panthers, Giants, and Bills. I guess don't really work right for the Noah's Ark. I should have also done. I did not submit the rule, but we should have added to the rule that they also had to be animal names. How many slows? I don't know. I've closed out a decent bunch, so not that many left. You see if you can see me scrolling across the top here. Not too many, but however many that is. I don't know. And then I'm in some on Underdog and DraftKings, of course. So every morning, afternoon, and then before bed, we got to process. Wake up, make my slow draft picks. Afternoon, when I hit a break, a work break, make all my slow draft picks, and then before bed, make all my slow draft picks. From May to September, that's the life. My wife thinks I'm permanently drafting best ball teams because probably half the time she looks over and I'm either have a on the phone or on the computer and there's a draft board up and she's like, God, got to be like, this dude is literally drafting 24/7. It's like, no, not really. I'm actually not doing that as many fast drafts this year, but I'm in a lot of slows, so it probably makes me look even more psychotic than I already am. Yeah, 100%. Bullock says my wife is absolutely correct. I mean, my wife is correct about almost everything, certainly as it pertains to me and my life choices. This is a good one. Who aims max the super flex? I don't think I got to a max because as this week is feeling a little burnt out on the slows. I'd gotten to a pretty high number, so it's not as many now because I had a bunch of the $2 on drafters. I had a ton of super flex slows. I did a ton of DraftKings slows, and I was feeling every morning, afternoon, and night. And being on the clock in a million drafts was like weighing on me, and so I don't. Is Superflex closed on Underdog? I'm unsure, but I don't know that I'll max it. I might double back. Charles says, "Does the draft hacker do real time exposure updates?" You have to. For drafters, it will. Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Ricky Pearsall does look good on this team. Nice little ADP fall. The people don't love Ricky Pearsall, but we do. Does the draft hacker do real-time exposure updates after your morning slow picks? So as soon as you make your picks, here I can quickly, for anyone that has not used it. So on all of the sites, they have a My Teams, or on DraftKings, it's like an upcoming contest page, or Underdog has the active and the completed tabs that you would use there. And all you do, there's a button on that you see right here. Click to get lineups for Spike Week, and you would just click that. It grabs your teams. You see, it's grabbing the teams, and then it will update them that way. So that's the process for that's one click. So once you make your picks, click a button, move on to the next. So that's what I do. As soon as I make all my picks on Underdog, I click and it sends over, and I don't even think about it. So it's basically like real time. But it doesn't know that you have to tell it that you've made picks. Let's see. Okay, so I've got the Bears thing. I need to start thinking if I'm gonna. Oh man, I know I have Abuka on both of my neighbors and HN teams, but I don't think I care. Okay, so we're through 8 rounds. Josh Allen at quarterback, Devon Achane, Chuba Hubbard, Malik Neighbors, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. 2x2, the Bears walk onto the arc. Ricky Pearsall and Emeka Buka. So now it is going to be time to start looking for my secondary correlations, of course. 49ers, a little tricky. I could do, I can do a stack, of course, with Purdy if he's back, comes back to me. But then we kind of have the running backs, but also Jacob Cowing, who I do like, available later. Emeka Buka, of course, Jalen McMillan, I don't really want, but I don't have a tight end yet. So Cade Otton seems nice on this team naturally. Of course, if Baker falls back, same thing. I could take Baker. And then there's Rashad White and Sean Tucker, right? Malik Neighbors, the running backs, basically all the rest of the Giants are available to me. And then Miami, Malik or Tua, unless I'm going to stack Tua with HN. So maybe HN wasn't my best decision there for Noah's Ark. Yep, captures. And yeah, so if you do a fast draft, right, if you're not into the slows, that's okay. I didn't used to be either. Once you finish a fast draft, same thing. Click the button, it sends it over. So I'm just in a rhythm. Every time I do a draft or every time I make a wave of slow picks, I click the button. And like you said, the slow drafts, so you're in round 3 of a slow draft, it'll count, right? Those 3 picks will be, you can look at your draft, go to Draft IQ. You can find those teams that only have 3 picks so far. It'll be in your exposures, all that kind of stuff. It's really helpful. Bullock says, I'm only a few weeks into marriage. My wife is still wrong about a lot of things. Congratulations. A very warm congratulations. We love our friend Bullock around here. B, a word of advice. Don't say that second part. You can think it, but you don't say it. It's like look but don't touch. You can get your appetite elsewhere, but eat your meals at home. It's kind of one of those. Don't say that one out loud, Bullock. Word of advice. Doesn't go well generally. Yeah, exactly. I feel like appreciating slow drafts means you have gone full degen, who Hames says. What we've been long past full degen when I made this my career a decade ago. But okay, so Baker, I could close out Baker with Abuka. I could do Purdy. Let me think about this. It's a nice fall. I think I should just take the Baker fall. Yeah, let's just take the Baker fall. Wrap up my Buccaneers. Not quite animals, but these 2 fucking pirates are walking onto the arc right behind the Bears. Baker and Emeka Buka. Mac, it's across the bottom of this. Maybe you're not watching. Maybe you're just listening. But the rule is this is the Noah's Ark. The Noah's Ark draft. Every player that I draft must have one teammate, but only one teammate also drafted onto this team. So across 20 rounds, every player has to have one of his teammates, but it cannot have more than one of his teammates. That's amazing. Eddie says this. My wife is in here. Love you. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll be, sitting on the computer, like on the couch or something, and the wife will walk up and like pretend to like try to type like hi or type something on my laptop. She knows it always annoys me. She's very good at getting under my skin when she wants to. About to be back up. Done at quarterback. Nice. Okay. Okay, so no Caleb. I could do Tracy and close out the Giants. Or do I think I should take a different, oh, maybe. God, this does feel like a Christian Kirk ass team. Oh, ooh. So I almost just said I should take David Njoku. I'm going to take David Njoku, but 2 Browns on this team is going to feel rough. So we'll see how that one goes. I'm not sure that Njoku was optimal for the rule today. But we will try it. That's funny. It is kind of fitting because I have been really wanting to get more exposure to David Njoku. I think he's a good pick. I'd have him at a good spot in the rankings. I don't love a lot that goes in this range generally. It's just it ends up being such a quarterback range. And then you do see some of these other, running backs that I like, Dobbins, Spears, Sharps, etc. I like a lot of these guys. So it's just been one of those, this is another huge part of why I believe in things like the Draft Hacker and using our Draft IQ and using Tournament DB and all the different tools that you get with a Spike Week subscription. The rankings are great. The strategy content is great. The Discord is great. It's all great. But the tools, like why we built it this way, we built something that we believe in and want to use, right? We didn't just build it to sell. We built it because this is selfishly what we want to use as people who are drafting thousands of best ball teams every year. The ability to see those things, you're like, I like David Njoku. I feel like I'm clicking him a decent amount, and then you get to his spot in the draft every time you do a draft, and it's like you don't have as much as you think, and then you really don't have as much of him with certain players, and it's really hard to, like, you can study your portfolio like a goddamn psychopath, like every day, and there's still going to be things that you don't see, that you don't write. Combinations of players, Njoku plus Achane. Like, there's so many permutations of the player combinations. It's really hard to know all of them. So doing a bunch of drafts with the Draft Hacker allows you to see, you just start to remember those things, right? You see the stuff that's like, oh my God, I have 100%, right? I have 100% of this guy, of Jawan Jennings with Malik Neighbors and Devon Achane. Now it's only a couple teams, but still, every time I've taken Neighbors Achane, I have Jawan Jennings on the team. And I like Jawan Jennings, but if you don't know that if you don't know, right, if you're not showing it on your screen while you're drafting with something like the Draft Hacker, how the hell would you ever know that you have that? Because people are just looking at exposures. Most overlays and stuff are just basic level exposures and maybe something combinatorial, but not to that level. So I just draft a bunch and look at that data while you're drafting. It's killer. Late Ford isn't awful. Late Dylan Sampson is probably my guy here. God, I do not like Kyle Williams. Oh, Jaden Blue. Oh, Tootin. Tootin works. Okay. I need to start thinking about this though. So I have 9 picks left. And I've only done 4. So I got to start pairing some shit here. I've only got Bucks and Bears. So now it's time to start building out these correlations. And then I've still got one more team left to go, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 2 more teams left to go. Yeah. Samson, Tillman, Fannin. Those are all on my short list. I actually like the Fannin and Njoku pairing. Yeah, I don't love taking Baker on an Allen team, but naturally, this is the perfect reason why I like doing these drafts. Is it's going to lead me to something that I wouldn't normally, even though Baker fell right there more than a round, I wouldn't generally do it. But now this is going to give me a slightly different team, still a good team. I like all these guys. Absolutely not on Jaden Blue. We're going to do Kincaid here, I think. Close up shop on the Bills. So we got the Allen Kincaid. We have Baker Ibuka. And Njoku is my 1 Brown. Pearsall is my 1 49er. Neighbors is my 1 Giant. Tootin is my 1 Jag. Chuba Panther. Achan Dolphin. So still got work to do, but I'm enjoying this. Charisma says, did you see how chalk the combos were with Jamar Chase on DK? Feel like that's common across all sites and a good spot to reach. Yep. Another wonderful thing that we have here at Spike Week is for multiple, like, it was interesting to see anybody being shocked by this. So maybe I'm just, not maybe, I'm in my own little bubble for sure. I just live in the niche within a niche within a niche, probably. Like best ball is definitely a niche version of fantasy sports, and I live in a small niche in that niche. But like, we've known this multiple years ago before we had any of the data from the sites. We built ownership projections. We still use them. We still have them up there. And you can see, like, we project, right? Obviously we project overall just like how often players are drafted, but we project combinatorial stuff. And we have been doing it for multiple years. And then even setting aside like us projecting it, we have historical best ball data, right? Old drafters tournaments, old underdog tournaments that we can look at, and you see this exactly what Charisma is talking about here happens every year, specifically at the turns, but really across the draft. In the first X amount of rounds is where it's really stark. But the overlap, Jamar Chase is 30% of the time paired with Trey McBride, 30% of the time paired with T. Higgins, because people just take that guy. There's reasons to do it, right? They're good picks. They correlate whether on the same team or in the week 17 game. And then, of course, people stick to ADP. So the overlap is absolutely nuts. But we've known that for a while. And it was interesting to see like some seeming like surprise by that. I found that fascinating. Oh my. This is a Wandale team, huh? Good God. I took Wandale to get my second Giant here. Trying to think. I'm probably going to make this a 3 tight end team. We'll see. But also probably because I might need Harold Fannin. We'll see about that. Running a little light on running back. The hardest part of this is definitely with the running backs, I think. And I don't think I can do Will Shipley on this team. There's no more fucking Eagles. I should have taken an Eagle. That also would have been really risky to take an Eagle. Like an Eagle could fly away getting onto the arc, right? And that would be Will Shipley. I would draft AJ Brown, and the only other Eagle I would have left to possibly draft, because I'm not drafting Jahan Dotson. I will lose this wheel challenge before I will draft Jahan Dotson. So that was an issue with doing the Eagles. Fudge. Both of the top running backs would be handcuffs. This is insane. Okay, I can't do Palmer. I could do McMillan, but I really don't want to do that. But then, so it only leaves me like Sean Tucker. Oh no, not Jonnu. All right. You know what? Achan and Mostert worked once. So we're gonna try the old Achan and Jalen right here. Another thing that will the wheel is pushing me to that I think is fine, that I wouldn't normally do. Yeah, I mean, Charles says the manifesto would say take fallers to reach versus reach to maximize that CLV. But like, if we've talked about this a lot, I mean, in general, right? This is what our good friend Big Country would say: over applying the macro to the micro. If we could get it our way, we would get fallers in all of these drafts, and that's how we would get these unique combinations. But that just doesn't work that way, right? A lot of the times thank you, Ivan. I kind of forgot that I'm done at Tampa Bay. A lot of the times, you're going to get on the clock at the 1-2 turn, and the best available people are going to be the chalkiest ones. But nobody thinks that T. Higgins is like substantially better than pick your second round or third, excuse me, 2-3 turn wide receiver, then Garrett Wilson, then Rashee Rice, then Tyreek Hill, then Jackson Smith and Jigba, then Devontae Adams, then Terry McLaurin. There's no real reason why certain guys should be paired more often. ADP value and closing line value are in general better, but there's not one thing that trumps all in this game, right? Unique combos are also better. So sometimes you have to manufacture them. If you want to have not the same teams that everyone else drafts, you can't just rely upon only fallers. When you get them, you can take them. And I agree with that. And I do that. But it's not the only way, right? We just because the manifesto said CLV is good, like no shit. We all like everyone knew that already. ADP value is overall a good thing, but it's not the only way to put teams together, right? ADP value is definitely a good thing. You know what else is good? Being the only team with a certain combination of players. That's also good. Like we make this like a war of, do you reach or do you draft, wait for fallers? And it's like, I do both. Why can't we have both? Like, I don't understand why it's right. It's like, are you a zero RB bro or a robust RB bro? It's like, I draft both. It's like, I'm much more of a zero running back bro, of course, but like we can have both. Like I can do both things. You know what I mean? It's fascinating, kind of the okay. Jags, Panthers, Browns, Niners. Jags, Panthers, Browns, Niners. Jags, Panthers, Browns, Niners. Shit. Jags, Panthers, Browns, Niners. I think I have to like reach for Jalen Coker. Jags, Panthers, Browns, Niners. Okay, I actually have a bunch of Browns available here. Okay, Panthers are done. Jags, Niners, Browns, and then a mystery, and then one more team, correct? Yeah. Yeah. Jags. So I'm gonna end of the draft stack somebody, but I need a Jag, a Brown, and a 49er. Okay. Don't look at my queue. If you're in this draft and watching the stream, don't look at my queue. I'm adding guys to my queue. There's only a couple of Niners available. I'm not sure that Pearsall was the best pick for this exercise. Let's see. Got my Niners in the queue. Jaguars. I was relying upon Diami, and that was my fail. I should have. When did he go? Damn! Just a couple picks before me. That's what killed me. Jags. Okay. Jags going to be a wide receiver. I might need to do Fan in here. It's awfully early for Fannin, though. I'm just going to take him. All right. This is getting tricky now. Yeah, I'm interested in this. Nolan says Chiefs running backs are possible there. Yep, I'm with you, Cole. Parker Washington is going to have to be my Jag, which I'm actually. This is another interesting one where, like you said, I've 1% Parker Washington, non-zero Parker Washington. I don't love it, but I think there are scenarios in which Parker Washington's not a bad pick. Obviously, they require Travis Hunter playing more defense, but I don't see why that's completely unrealistic. So I got the Niners here, and I got Parker Washington, which means we got to do some running. Let me think about this. 2 running backs from the same team. Yeah, so it's probably gonna have to be 2 running backs from the same team. Well, unless I do Jordan James. unless I do Jordan James, which maybe I do that, and then I can do a running back plus a wide receiver. Because this wide receiver room is a little scary. I don't need tight ends. I have David Njoku, Dalton Kincaid, and Harold Fannin on this team. Quarterback good, tight end good. I want to get to 6 running backs on this team, and I still need a mystery team to close it out. Kai says, unless Gabe Davis takes Parker's role, Gabe Davis is a free agent, sir. They cut him. This is interesting. Cole says, could see Parker beating out Diami. I could not see Parker Washington beating out Diami, mainly because Parker Washington's like almost a slot only, and Diami's just better than Parker Washington. But I think Parker Washington could, right, again, Hunter is, more of a part-time wide receiver. He's in certain personnel packages, but not a full-time wide receiver. And Parker Washington is like the normal slot. He wouldn't be like an every down slot player, like a normal like Wandale is, but he would be a quasi every, probably like 50 or 60% route participation or something like that for Parker Washington, maybe 50 in this weird scenario. And then if somebody goes down, if somebody gets hurt, he's the wide receiver 4. Yeah, we saw contingent value last year. I drafted Parker Washington a little bit last year for the contingent value of something happening to Christian Kirk or Gabe Davis or whoever. And, that worked out fine. He wasn't awesome, but he had a couple spike weeks. Okay. Nobody took Jordan James, correct? Because I'm sorry, Jacob Cowing, but I need Jordan James to open things up here, who I also do like Jordan James. In that deep sleeper article that I mentioned that it's up on spikeweek.com, that is also 100% free. You don't have to have a subscription to read that the rookie sleepers article. I almost had Jordan James on there. At running back, I did go with Taj Brooks and Kyle Manungai. Speaking of our Bears, we already have 2 Bears here, so obviously can't do Manungai. But Jordan James was the one guy who almost made that list that I did not add on there. So I do very much like Jordan James. Oh, somebody must have knocked on the door or something. Dog just jumped up to run upstairs. 10 million. Jason says 10 million for Diami is why he'll play over Washington. Yeah. Although they did pay a lot of money to. So do I take Parker Washington or do I could do Keaton and Tez. I could do fucking Hunt. I could do Hunt and someone. What I think I want to do here. I'll do Kareem Hunt. That makes me feel really gross. But I think the Chief was the right answer, just because it gives me a higher number of outs. Yeah. I think the Chief was the right thing. This was, Cole says Keaton and Taz is a banger. That was on the short list. For sure. I just think the Chiefs gave me, there's a lot of Chiefs available. And I know positionally there's more running backs, which would give me the 7 running backs that I wouldn't love on this team. But if I'm gonna complete the exercise, I think it's a good one. Yes, my office is in the basement. 100%. Yeah, Charles, double tap Dallas running backs. What Dallas running backs? They're all gone. Phil Maffa and Deuce Vaughn. The KC running backs. Yeah. Goose likes Brashard more and more lately. I'm with you. I like Brashard also. He's notably gone. He went right before me. That was kind of, he was on the short list. That's why I was rattled when we came up and took Kareem Hunt. And first Kareem Hunt share and probably the last Kareem Hunt share for me in 2025 NFL best ball land. But hey, again, leading me down a path that I don't normally take. It's good. It's a good thing. I do not mind pulling players around the board. I personally believe you shouldn't do it till the contest is at least 75% or so full because you never know when it put. I wouldn't have that rule either. We know some stuff that won't. We know some stuff that won't be. The first couple rounds don't move much. Later, for sure. Like pulling guys do even get attached to the side of the board. Like if you think about it from like the board, like we're looking at here, even later round guys get very attached to the sides of the boards. But those guys can move the most and they have the widest range, right? The ADP is an average. I hope that people remember that when they talk about ADP. It's literally called average draft position, meaning sometimes they go ahead and sometimes they go behind. So just because you got him 6 picks after ADP, like so did other people, because that's what average means. But the early round guys, like it doesn't really shift that much. And I think you should want your early round guys with different early round guys, right? You don't want to take the same. You don't want every one of your Nico Collins teams to have the same second round guy, right? Like that wouldn't make any sense. These dogs are hilarious. Okay. Did somebody take Parker Washington? That's hilarious. What kind of psychopath does that? And Jalen Royals goes. Okay. Well, I was not paying attention. So I'm cheating and taking Gabe. I know he's not on the Jags. Tough shit. I'm cheating and taking Gabe. Who is thankful? Thankful just took Parker Washington in the 18th round. That's hilarious. Who are you? Show your face for taking the Jags guys. I don't care. I get to make the rules. It's my wheel. It's my arc. I'm Noah. Gabe counts. He said his name still says Jacksonville next to it, and we're gonna take we're gonna take Gabe. Okay, now I need a Chief though, and Jalen Royals is gone, so this stinks. Eli Mitchell, come on down. All right. Well, this went a little south at the end because someone took Parker Washington. What the hell? What the hell just happened? Yeah, break out the hot dogs. I didn't technically. It says Jacksonville. It says Jacksonville on the screen. So we're counting it. Technicality. It's a technicality. I'm not sure that that's better than drafting Dearness Johnson or whatever. I don't even know who the wide receiver 5 is for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was not expecting. That's funny. Let's see. Answer some questions, run down this team, and then get out of here. Let's see. Goose said could go Titans. Yeah, I mean I don't like Restrepo either, but it probably would have been better than what I was forced upon with Gabe Davis, free agent. Gabe Davis, soon to be Pittsburgh Steeler. I bet Gabe Davis. What a disaster. I would prefer Chimere DK, by the way, to Xavier Restrepo. The Titans took a slot receiver in the 4th round. The first wide receiver before Io Manor, they drafted Chimere DK. So the Restrepo thing is interesting because he's an undrafted free agent on a team that drafted a slot receiver, of which Restrepo is only a slot receiver, in the 4th round. Like just draft the guy they took in the 4th round. Wait out the Restrepo thing. Let's see. The hacker doesn't. It just says the site says the team. I think it picked up. I don't remember actually. It's a good question from Charles. But I don't. I'm making the rules here. I said I'm Noah. He's a Jaguar. Where this is what it is. Yeah. But Restrepo played with Cam in college. The Pack fan question about the draft hacker with the option show ownership for all tournaments that share the same rankings. Yeah, I can just we can pull it up real quick. Let me go. So I got Draft IQ here. If you go to the site and you want to set your settings, you go here to Draft Hacker Settings, and obviously you can see all the million. Right, pick your colors and your right font size. You can customize absolutely everything in the Draft Hacker. You can see all the colors that I choose here, and then like my min max my min max values, right? Again, more colors and such that I use. You see here, we cover all the sports, right? So you can use it in all the sites, allow for the draft decker, regular season, playoff, weekly winners, et cetera, right? You set every single setting here. Here's kind of all the settings that I currently have selected. But the Pac fan asked about show ownership for all tournaments that share the same rankings. Is that just for certain structures are May to August consider? The same rankings are, let's go to, it's a good question. Let me go to Underdog really quickly, and I can explain it to you via the Underdog. It's really Underdog, and if Drafters does a Superflex tournament, that will be different rankings. Drafters and DraftKings, basically everything is the same. They all share the same rankings. On Underdog, right, they have all these different formats. So if you go to the rankings, you go down, what the hell? I don't know. Why is NFL just right in the middle of all the rankings? But if you go to NFL, you see the slates. There's all these different slates. So your 2025 is just like regular standard old best ball, right? And then let me move the question just so you can see. But then they have Eliminator, different set of rankings for Eliminator. Marathon, different set of rankings for Marathon. Weekly winners, Sprint, Superflex, right? Different sets of rankings for all of those. So if you select that, show ownership for all tournaments that share the same rankings, that is, like I said, DraftKings, it'll just it's taking all your tournaments, right? So the Millie, the 555, the $3, $1, $20, whatever. It's taking all of that and lumping it all together. Same thing with Drafters. It'll take my exposures that you saw there. That's my $2 and my $20 and now my $3. It's all mushed into one exposure. You can view it for just that tournament, right? Like for Best Ball Mania, you want to draft and just see Best Ball Mania exposures. You can do that, but you can also do this where it says show ownership for all tournaments, right? So that would be the puppy, the schnauzer, the poodle, the whatever, all of it, Best Ball Mania, all lumped together. That exposure number is going to be included in all of that. Wouldn't be a Spike Week draft without Gabe Davis. Feels like the fresh apple pie my grandma makes. Yeah, sadly. It used to be a Spike Week staple, and unfortunately now, Gabe Davis is not a thing. Sad times. But let's run down the team real quick, and then we will get out of here. As you see across the bottom of your screen, the rule today from the wheel was Noah's Ark. Had to draft exactly 2 players from each team. Every time I drafted a player, you had to draft a teammate, but you could only draft one, right? Pairs of 2 animals on Noah's Ark, 2 by 2 onto the team. We executed that strategy, sort of. Don't ask me about Gabe Davis. But Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield at quarterback, Devon Achane, Chuba Hubbard, Bashal Tutin, Jalen Wright, Jordan James, Kareem Hunt, and Eli Mitchell at running back. I'm okay with that. Honestly, the only thing that really went south here was I would have preferred Jalen Royals over Eli Mitchell, and obviously prefer Parker Washington over free agent Gabe Davis. But it says Jags, and so the jury has decided innocent. We are innocent of all crimes. Gabe Davis counts on the Jaguars. But Malik Neighbors, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Ricky Pearsall, Emeka Buka, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Coker, and Gabe Davis. If Gabe Davis is playing football this year, I actually think this wide receiver room is totally fine. We made the big bet on the Bears. We got a couple of high upside, Pearsall, Buka. Obviously, Neighbors is the linchpin. Pearsall, Buka, Wan'Dale, boring ass PPR chaperone. Hopefully Coker, right, hits. And Gabe Davis is hopefully running some wind sprints somewhere in 2025. And then David Njoku with Harold Fannin. So our Browns, I actually like that quite a bit. And Dalton Kincaid is my pairing with Josh Allen. That's going to do it. That's going to do it for the wheel draft today. Be back tomorrow again, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you could please hit like on your way out, it would be amazing. It would be much appreciated. Right before you go, just click that little button, and it works wonders for us content creators. It sounds silly, but it really, really does. Be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be doing some more drafts. I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow. If you got a draft that you would like to do, any site, any format, go ahead and drop it in the comments, and or drop it in the Discord, and we'll take some votes. But I'll see you guys I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful Thursday. It's almost the weekend. It's almost the holiday. Yes, we're drafting on the holiday. Let's rip it. Let's do it.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.